Hi, it's Anika from Living for Later, and I'm here to discuss with you part 4, if it pays to obey. When we look at Genesis 6, verse 18, we see that God, tells Noah that it's going to be him, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives in the ark when the floods come, because it's going to, when God sends the rain, that everyone on the earth will be destroyed except for those 8 people, along with the animals that the Lord told Noah to bring on the ark. And the point that I want to make today is that our obedience not only affects us, but it also has a direct impact on others. I think that it's so easy for us to buy into the world's way of thinking and saying it's me, myself, and I, but it's not so with the kingdom of God, right? We're connected, and our obedience has an impact on others, whether or not we want to admit this. And I think about in Deuteronomy 7 and 9, where God says, listen, I am God, a faithful God, and I'll keep covenant and mercy for 1,000 generations to those who love me and keep my commands. And I think about that because my decisions as a parent, my decision to obey God not only impacts me, but it impacts my children and future generation. I can set my children up to be blessed or cursed based on my obedience or my disobedience. So just like they are blessed by my obedience, and them and future generations that come after, the opposite is true, right? If I choose to disobey and reject God and say, you know what, I don't want to do what you're telling me to do. I don't want to keep your commands. I don't want to obey the specific instructions that you've given me, and be careful to just, walk uprightly before you. Then I set my children up and future generations up to really be cursed. So our decision to say yes to God is not just about us. We have to get beyond, again, thinking just about us, because think about it. Noah and his entire family were able to be on that ark because of Noah's obedience, right? His family was kept protected. And I even think about, those young women that are desiring a husband. I think it's important to recognize that you need to make sure that beyond, I want my husband to just look really good, and I want him to be muscular, or whatever your list is. And there's nothing wrong with having a list, because, we all have our desires, right? But at the top of that list should be, I want this person to be someone that has a heart to say yes to God, because he is going to be my covering. He's going to be my head. And his ability to say yes to God and to obey him is going to have a direct impact on me and my household. Again, think about Noah. So I want to end there today, and I just want to encourage you to think beyond yourself, but to also consider others when you think about saying yes to Jesus and obeying what he's told you. And I want to make this quick point, because I've seen it even in my own household. As parents, sometimes we can see our children acting up or disobeying, and sometimes we can wonder what on earth is going on. And I know that there's been seasons where I may not be in blatant sins, but I know that God is telling me to do something, and I may be dragging my feet, and it plays out, right? That same spirit kind of attaches itself to my children, and they start acting out in the same way in disobedience. And I'm not saying that this is always the case when your children are disobedient, that it's because of you, but I think that it's important to sometimes take a step back and look to make sure that your disobedience is not trickling down to your children. Let it be their own thing that they're dealing with, and not because of you as a parent not doing what God has told you to do. I know I said a lot, but I hope that makes sense. In any case, pray, ask the Lord again to give you a heart to obey, because it's not just about you. You be blessed.